But now we're all under the influence of everyone else's decisions. We're under the influence of advertisements.
Yeah.
We're under the influence of, I will be a better, more complete person if I buy the car or the house or the couch or whatever the thing is on Instagram.
Under the influence of influencers.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yo, what's going on, fam? It's your boy, Anthony O'Neill. It's Monday morning. It's 8 a.m. And if you're listening on podcast, you probably already started listening. But if you're on YouTube, welcome back to the table. It's your boy, Ayo, a.k.a. Anthony O'Neill. It's actually Anthony O'Neill, a.k.a. A.O. And here at the table, we're going to keep it real, relevant, and relatable because today, I got my brothers from another mother, from another color. The Minimalists are in the building. Y'all know them as the Minimalists. I call them brothers. Some of the coolest white people I know, for real. And I'm always looking for some of the dopest people to come on my show. But no, real talk, we are friends. We text. I haven't been able to go out surfing with Ryan yet, but I'm going to get out there one day because they live in California. That's my home city. So can y'all help me welcome to the table my brothers, Joshua and Ryan, a.k.a. the Minimalists. What's up, brothers?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having us.
Listen, y'all walked in this morning, I turned around and said, my brothers are in the building.
Let's do it.
And when you come to the table, we keep it real.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ask you some interesting questions.
Yeah.
So you guys have a new book coming out here next month, right around July 13th, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're in pre-sale right now.
That's right.
And my people buy things.
All right.
Okay? I want y'all to go get this book. We're going to talk about it because I'm going to ask them some real questions.
We're going to help you get rid of things more than you buy things.
Right. Exactly.
Yo, we're going to have it. The book's called Love People, Use Things, because the opposite never works. So here at the table, you guys, I dive straight in. I don't do fluff. You guys, you already know them. They're the Minimalists. Google them. They are amazing. If they're on my show, they are people of substance. But I want to dive straight into this because I think my tribe is not fully aware of minimalism. So let's go to Minimalism 101.
Yeah.
What exactly is it?
Let's talk about it. So minimalism is the thing that gets us past the things.
The things that get us past the things. Okay.
So let's think about that. So right now we have so much stuff. The average American household has 300,000 items in it, right? It's a lot of stuff. Now, that'd be fine if it was making us happier, bringing us more joy, contentment, tranquility. It's doing none of that. It's making us stressed out. It's making us miserable.
Okay.
We have a lot of stuff. And so what we're trying to understand is how do we deal with the clutter that's going on in our lives? It starts with the physical clutter because our material possessions are a physical manifestation of what's going on inside us.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a lot of external clutter. It probably means you got a lot of mental clutter, spiritual clutter, emotional clutter, psychological clutter, this internal clutter. So we start dealing with the stuff, we're able to start looking inside and dealing with whatever's going on inside us.
Yeah. So on a practical level, Ryan, what are some of the stuff y'all are talking about?
Well, I mean, for anyone who is trying to declutter their lives, I think they got to start with a question.
Okay.
They got to ask themselves, how might my life be better with less?
Oh.
Because, anyone listening to this or watching this right now, they can go to their closet and declutter, right? I mean, we all know how to declutter, but if they don't know why they're doing it, that decluttered closet is going to become cluttered again in the not too distant future.
That's true.
So, I mean, this stuff is the initial bite at the apple. But man, I'll tell you, for me, it really helped me reshape, I don't know, my identity. It helped me redefine, what success was, which I don't even know if I believe in success anymore. Mm-hmm. But minimalism.
Oh, we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, let's do that.
You can't say that and just ride on by that.
But here's the thing. For the last year or so, a lot of people have been using this word essential workers, essential businesses, essential travel.
Yeah.
Ryan and I, for the last decade as the Minimalists, we have been asking ourselves, what is essential? Like, what are the essential things in my life?
Okay.
What are the essential relationships?
Yeah. And
identifying what's essential helps us get rid of all the things that are superfluous.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just dropping those big old words. We'll put that definition in the show description.
Superfluous.
But hey, that's what you get when you bring the Minimalists to the table. So Ryan, you said something that's off subject, but you don't believe in the word success anymore?
Well, I think success is something that I was chasing throughout my 20s. That's why I had my corporate job. That's why I was climbing up the corporate ladder. That's why I was going into massive amounts of debt, as I was trying to look successful. And now, instead of focusing on success, I try to focus on living a meaningful life.
Okay.
And for me, I mean, I could say that that's my new definition of success. But I think when you hear that word success, it conjures this definition that has nothing to do with living a meaningful life.
So good.
So yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm against success or anything like that. It's just success as it stands in the Western world. It requires, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I was going to say most success is failure.
I mean, in a lot of ways.
It is.
Think about this. I was successful. So I grew up really poor, Ryan and I. You can see it in our last Netflix film. You can see the house I grew up in is all boarded up now, and there was like a homeless person living in it. Like what you realize is like, okay, I'm unhappy and we're unsuccessful, so I'm going to become successful. So throughout my 20s, I climbed the corporate ladder. At the peak of my corporate career, I was managing 150 retail stores. Youngest director of my company's 140-year history. And so I was successful. So I had the job title, but I was also working 80 hours a week. I was stressed out. I was overweight. I was unhealthy. My relationships were suffering. I made really good money, but I spent even better money. So I had lots and lots of debt. I wasn't focusing on my creativity. I was distracted all the time. I wasn't peaceful or calm or tranquil. I didn't have the freedom that I said I wanted. And so I had all of these things that were supposed to make me happy. But those things weren't doing their job. They weren't making me happy. They were making me miserable.
So success is failure. And I love how you said, Ryan, that success to you is, another word, was a better, stronger statement. It's just a meaningful life. Having purpose and going after your purpose, which defines where you are in life.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I think we focus so much on success. We focus so much on happiness. But when you focus on living a meaningful life, from what I have found, is that happiness and success to a great extent is a byproduct of living a meaningful life.
Absolutely. And I agree with you too, Josh, when you said like success is failure. How many times did we have to experience failure before we actually have a successful life or a meaningful life? You know, when I look at my life, like, you're absolutely right. I failed probably 10 times more than I've succeeded at something. But without those failures, I would not have been successful at some things. On my show, I talk a lot about money. And what I love about you all's book, Love People, Use Things, that's coming out on July 13th, you all really dive into money as well. I want to know, when it comes to minimalism, because, you know, I follow you all, and boy, I don't know if I got 300,000 things, but I got a lot of things in my house.
He's only got 250,000.
Right, only 250,000 things. And I'm going to keep it a buck, because, I mean, that's real. What are some of the benefits of minimalism when it comes to money? How does minimalism help us save money?
Let's just say this. We're not against stuff, right?
Thank you.
Just like I'm not allergic to money either.
Right.
Really?
The problem is, so like one of the rules we have in the book, we have 16 rules for living with less in there. One of the rules is what we call the no junk rule. Everything you own can fit into one of three piles. It's either essential, non-essential, or junk. Essentials, like, we all need some clothes, we need some food, we need shelter, right? The non-essentials are things that we could do without. Like, I don't have to have a couch. I don't have to have a dining room table. I don't have to have, you know, a sweatshirt. But I get value from these things. Unfortunately, most of the things we own fall in this third category, this junk category. And these things are getting in the way of the things that serve a purpose in our lives. So as a minimalist now, everything I own serves a purpose, or it brings me joy. And everything else is out of the way. Here's the paradox of minimalism. I own fewer things, but I get so much more value from those fewer things because I'm not weighed down by hundreds of thousands of useless junk.
The secret to good finances is spending less money than what you make.
Absolutely.
Right?
Living below your means.
Right. So minimalism definitely helped me get there. I mean, that was really the initial reason why I got into minimalism, is because I had so much debt. I had to have this very important job to pay that debt. Then I would get a raise, or a promotion, and I would be like, "Oh, I can afford more debt now." So I was making these horrible decisions, just consuming as much as I could to have that status, to have that success. And minimalism helped me to, reclaim my finances, which really led to me reclaiming my time. So when it comes to minimalism, of course, the less you consume, the less money you're going to spend. But you know, I think a step further is you learn how to get something out of life without having to spend money. So I think too often we rely on that dopamine hit the ephemerality of buying the latest iPhone. And I still get those urges, man. I wish I could sit here and tell you and your audience, like, hey, watch our documentaries, read our books, pre-order that, Love People Use Things book right now.
Yeah.
And as soon as you read that, you're never going to want to buy anything ever again. But that's just not the case, man.
Hey, man. Yeah. I love y'all. And I'm going to buy me some things.
Yeah, and that's totally cool, man. But, we get we see about 5,000 advertisements a day, over 5,000 advertisements.
Absolutely.
So, that's a lot of noise to filter through.
Yeah.
And what minimalism has really helped me do is filter through that noise. And when you can filter through that noise, you do end up spending less money.
So let's break this down for the average person. Or I'm going to give y'all like a scenario. Let's just say Anthony O'Neill. He makes $5,000 net a month. How do I live below my means with $5,000? Like if I'm a minimalist, what am I doing with this $5,000 in a perfect minimalism world?
So let's start by identifying what is enough.
Okay.
We never even stop to ask that question, right?
Yeah.
In our culture, with all the advertisements Ryan just mentioned, with our Instagram feed, with seeing everyone else and how they're living their best life, we always want more.
Yes.
And so we're always considering more. Yep. What's the new upgrade? What's the new purchase? What's the new clothes? What's trendy? What do I need, even though we don't really need it? And it's this thing called mimetic desires.
Yeah.
It's our society is telling us what we want, but we're not even stopping to consider, what do I really want?
That's facts.
And so how do I identify what is enough?
Yeah.
Well, by stopping and realizing, like, I don't need more. I already have more than enough stuff. And so how might my life be better with less? And that's really where we start, is how will my life be better with less? Because if you identify that, what you're identifying is what? Not just the things I should buy, but the things that will add value to my life, because my life will be better if I have fewer things. So if I'm subtracting, what am I really doing? I'm uncovering a more meaningful life. It's not about adding things on to get a more meaningful life. And then when I subtract to a certain level, as my life changes, I can bring new things in. It's okay to bring new things in. But when I do that intentionally. And with that $5,000, what you can do is you identify, okay, what are my needs? What are my non-essentials, but things that will add value to my life? And then can I afford them? Too often we don't think about the cost of our things. So right now it's like, if I go spend that $5,000, that's not the only cost though, right? There's the cost of taking care of our things, storing our things, cleaning our things, washing our things,
Come on, man.
putting gas in the thing, changing the oil in the thing, replacing the batteries in the thing, all of these things. Not to mention, what about the psychological costs of owning these things? They take a lot of weight in our house, a lot of space in our house, but they take up a lot of space in our mind as well.
Yeah, it makes me think about, money we look at as like the most important resource, especially in the Western world, but really it's our time and our attention. And when we consume our lives with 300,000 items, it takes a lot of our time and attention away from things that truly matter.
I say money is a tool. Money is not the most important thing. It's a tool to get us to where we want to go. And I agree with you. Our greatest asset is our mind, how we think, our time. And if we're always working for our time, then man, come on, that's off. But I want y'all to check out this quick commercial, because if you're watching this and say, okay, cool, how do I live below my means? How do I get out of debt? Check this out, and we'll be right back. When you guys think about your finances, AKA your money, do you get stressed? Do you get anxious? Do you feel like, hey, where do I start? How do I begin? What do I do? Well, check it. I totally get it, because I remember being 18 years old, being a young man, living paycheck to paycheck, homeless, sleeping in the back of my car. I totally get it. But I got something I want to share with you that's going to help change your financial future. And this is called Ramsey Plus. Ramsey Plus is going to give you this step-by-step plan, the step-by-step guide on how to change your financial future. Inside of Ramsey Plus, you're going to learn how to get an emergency fund, how to get out of debt, how to start building wealth, how to start investing. We're going to teach you everything you need to know on how to change your financial future. So for right now, if you text the word AO plus to 33789, I'm going to give you a free 30-day trial. Now check this out, you guys. Let me be real with you, all right? Can you think about what can happen if you commit to 30 days? What those 30 days can do for the next 30 years of your family's life and your life? Listen, I can't say nothing else. Text the word AO plus to 33789 so you can change your family's future. This is your boy Anthony O'Neill, and I approve this message. Yo, so we're back. If you're just now tuning in, man, I'm pumped. I got my brothers Joshua and Ryan, the original I got my brothers Joshua and Ryan in the building. I call them the original minimalists. And I'm going to ask y'all a question.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to put myself on blast. And if you disagree with me, go ahead and say disagree.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's my question when it comes to minimalism. Is I like things.
Yes.
I don't believe in debt.
Right.
I don't borrow money.
Mm-hmm.
I save a lot of it. I invest a lot of it. But then I also can spend a lot of it.
Yeah.
So recently I just bought, a very high-end nice car.
Okay.
Nice.
Am I not a minimalist because I bought a very high-end nice car cash?
We're going to have to take your certificate back from you. I'm sorry. No, of course not.
Here's the only problem with our things.
Yeah.
Is we think they're going to make us happy.
Yeah.
We'll never be made happy by externalities.
Okay.
Yeah, so anything is not going to... Now, it'll give us pleasure.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with pleasure. Ryan and I aren't against pleasure. It's just like eating a piece of chocolate cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. No problem with that. But if our diet is primarily chocolate cake, we're not going to get the nutrition that we need.
Facts.
Yeah.
And so where do we get our nutrition in life? It's not from the desserts, right? We all can benefit from stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But those things can either amplify our experience of life. So if you get a nice car, you're driving every day, you enjoy being in it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with enjoying that.
Yeah.
But thinking you need it to make you happy is actually going to make you miserable.
Well,
that's facts.
The real question is like, is that car getting in the way of something more meaningful in your life? The answer to that is probably no. But, the title of our book is Love People Use Things because, like Josh said earlier, we tend to do the opposite.
Ooh.
So if you're chasing things and ignoring the most important relationships in your life or just people in general, maybe it's just coworkers that you're ignoring because of the things that you're pursuing, like that is really where I have to ask myself, like, okay, the things that I'm chasing, is it worth that, or should I focus more on the people in my life? So going back to the sports car, no, there's nothing wrong with having a sports car, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's great. Mm-hmm. Give me the keys and I'll take it for a test drive. I'll tell you if it was really worth it. There's nothing wrong with that, man. The only problem that we run into, especially in the Western culture, is we allow those things to get in the way of what's truly meaningful.
Have you heard of the hedonic treadmill?
No, I haven't.
So the hedonic treadmill is basically when we buy something, we become accustomed to it.
Yeah.
A good example is this, like say you fly first class all the time.
Right.
And all of a sudden they're sold out of first class seats.
Ooh.
Well, now you feel like you've actually lost something. Although most of your life you didn't even get on an airplane at all. It was like a privilege to get on an airplane. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like I need that first class seat. Well, that's a problem, right? But we do that with all of our things. We continue to upgrade, and that upgrade now becomes our new status quo. It's called the hedonism treadmill because we keep needing more and more and more. Mm-hmm. But really, the contentment, the peace is always uncovered with less.
Yeah. It goes back to, I like what you said, Ron. You was like, man, the question is this nice thing preventing you from getting something that will add more value to your life?
Right.
And when you said that, that hit me in my gut. I was like, dang, did it? Like I had to ask myself that. Yeah. Like, did when I purchased that vehicle, I didn't ask myself that question. Me dropping this much money on a very nice vehicle, is this preventing me from getting something or getting around family that will add more value to my life? And while y'all were talking, I heard what y'all was saying, but the other half of my head was like, wait, did it? Mm-hmm. And I really want y'all to, listening right now, watching this on podcast, ask yourself that. Mm-hmm. Is me doing something, purchasing this Gucci backpack, this Louis Vuitton purse, me buying this first class plane ticket to go on a vacation this summer, me doing this, me purchasing that, will this prevent me from getting something that will add value to my life, to my family's life?
Yeah.
Because that's a deep question.
Yeah.
And I just really want that to soak in because I think a lot of us, I'm not talking about y'all. I ain't talking about the minimalists. I'm talking about us on the AL tribe. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of us, we can say yes.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we've purchased have prevented us from doing something that would add value to our lives.
Well, in the book, we have 6 questions to ask before buying something. And so I'm not going to go through all 6, so it'll take too much of your time, but I'll give you a couple of them here.
Okay.
One is, can I afford it? So we already talked about the cost. Like, okay, maybe I have $5,000, but maybe it's actually going to end up costing me more than $5,000 for this thing, right? Because of the storage and everything else. Another question is this the best use of this money? Because just because I can afford something, I can afford the Gucci wallet or whatever. Would this money be better served elsewhere? Maybe I can contribute beyond myself in a meaningful way, or maybe I can just use it to pay off debt I already have.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Get the book. Y'all need to get these 6 questions before, and I'm going to do it, and I know the 6 questions, but I really want y'all to get the book. One of the things I've learned, and tell me if y'all agree with it, is when I honestly go and purchase something, I have a needs category and then I have a want category. And I focus on all the things that I need, and then I may get 1 or 2 things that I want throughout the year. So this year was I wanted this nice car.
Yes.
Now, that nice car is off the bucket list for at least another 7 to 10 years for me. I would never spend that much money on purchasing a car because I believe I need a car, but I wanted a high-end car.
And that's an important distinction. What you're saying is, I didn't need this to be happy.
Exactly.
It doesn't make me a more complete person.
Exactly.
I'm not a better Anthony O'Neill because I purchased this car. I'm still me. I'm complete without it. I'm complete in an empty room. These things can only augment my life.
Absolutely. And about I think it was like a few months ago, I purchased a Gucci backpack. I don't know if y'all saw the video, but I purchased a Gucci backpack, right?
I didn't see it.
During COVID, went out there and spent $4,000 on the backpack. It was brand new. I was like, oh yeah, let me get that backpack. It looked dope. I'm gonna be real with y'all. And I was walking by, and they had it sitting in the front window, and it was shiny. They put a shiny gloss on that thing. I was like, ooh, that looks good. And I would look sexy with that backpack. And I ain't going nowhere. I ain't flying nowhere. I'm just going from home to the office, back home, because it's the middle of COVID. And I got that backpack. And I carried it to the office. My brand leader, my business partners, everyone was like, oh, man, you look dope. You look dope. You look dope. You look dope. And I'm like, and I got home one day, and I'm sitting in my car, and I'm looking at this backpack. I'm like, $4,000 just to get told I look dope.
That's how much I need someone else's validation.
Yeah, I was like, do I really need? I need a backpack, but do I really need this backpack? Like, do I really need 4? So I sat down there and I felt convicted. I'm sitting here telling people to live below their means and focus on the things that they need. And there's nothing wrong with buying a Gucci backpack if that's what you want to do, because maybe one day I will get it. But, man, I felt convicted that, man, I could take this $4,000, invest that into a growth stock mutual fund, invest it in something that brings me value. Because I'm like, I don't need a backpack that costs $4,000. I'm not good. I'm going to throw the backpack on the floor anyway. So I'm like, I went upstairs and I got the nice little package they put the Gucci bag in and went right back to the mall. Took it back.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And
that's incredible.
And I did a video about it. And it went viral.
That's an inspiring story, man. Really.
Because I'm like, I need a backpack. I wanted that, but that want didn't add value. And it took away from me investing, and it took away from, like, I got more praise about the backpack. And I was like, I don't need it.
Yeah, it's interesting how these things are like it's a shortcut to significance.
Yes.
It's a shortcut to getting status. And there are ways that we could get significance and get status without spending a dime.
Facts.
But it's sometimes we look at the Gucci backpack, we're like, oh, it's a shortcut.
Facts.
Let me just be clear about one thing. There's nothing wrong with you buying a backpack like that.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a right answer here either.
Exactly.
And that's why this is so difficult, right? When we talk about the average household having hundreds of thousands of items, that's not a wrong thing. People often ask, well, who is this minimalist message for? Isn't it for everyone? No, it's not for everyone. Because it's for anyone who's discontented by the status quo. Are you stressed out because you're living a lifestyle to keep up with the people around you? In our last Netflix film, we talked about the vertical expansion of your reference group, which is just a fancy way to say keeping up with the Joneses. and now, it's different, right? Because before it was like, oh, look at my neighbor, they have a nice car.
Yeah.
But now it's everyone I've never met. I get to see them on my Instagram feed, not to mention all the ads on my Instagram feed.
Come on.
And now now I want those things, and I think that I need them to make me a better version of me. But I'm complete without those. In fact, those things in a weird way, you remember that Jerry Maguire line, you complete me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but in a weird way, our stuff incompletes us. So you incomplete me.
Boy, you dropping some knowledge up in here, boy. You got me thinking. Sorry, so let me ask you this question. There's no secret that you all are successful. I mean, you're on Netflix. I've been out on the road with you all at different events. I've had the opportunity to speak on y'all stages. I've spoken on your podcast. You all have a huge following.
Yeah.
So there's no secret that you all have become successful and you all have made a lot of money along this journey.
Sure.
What do minimalists do with their money?
Yeah.
I mean, because y'all wear black all the time.
Yeah,
Every time I see y'all, it's simple. Black shirt, black pants, black shoes, chilling. You know, every time I come around y'all, very simple. And I'm like, okay, so what do y'all do with your money then?
Yeah, in fact, you could do like a house tour of our homes on our YouTube channel, and you could see like, if you walk in our house, it's not like, oh my God, these guys don't own anything.
Right.
It's just we're really, really tidy, right? And we don't own a whole lot of things. And so what do I do with my money? You know, I know this might be sacrilegious, but I contribute a lot to my retirement account. So in America, that's considered to be what are you doing, right? So Ryan and I, we max out our retirement accounts, and we contribute beyond ourselves in a meaningful way. So like, I'll give you an example. We're from Dayton, Ohio, right? Yeah. And a couple of years ago, tornado hit, and there was a mass shooting in the same span of a month, basically, right? Yeah. And we have the resources to help out in a place like that. Also, one of the largest food deserts in the country there. We're helping build the only grocery store in the entire west side of Dayton. Wow. And we can do that because we're deliberate with the resources we have. We're not against spending money. We own stuff. I own a car. I own a couch. I own a bed. Like I own clothes. We're not lacking for stuff, but I don't have all the superfluous stuff that is getting in the way.
I want to be transparent too, man. We are not millionaires. Like it's So I mean, it's not like we have this huge influx of money, but it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, man. The secret to good finances is spending less money than what you make.
Wow.
And that's really what we focus on. Planning for our future, contributing to communities. And you know, I love having a nice meal every once in a while.
Yeah.
Also experiences, right? Yeah. What's a nice meal, you said?
I'm serious.
Oh, what's a nice meal?
Yeah, for you.
Oh man, there's just so many great restaurants in LA. In LA, yeah. I mean, there's one called AOC. I will give them a shout out because they're like, they're phenomenal. But I mean, it's like $75, $80. It's not like one of those $500 plate restaurants. You know? But
have you ever had a $500 plate?
I've never had a $500 plate in my life.
Have you, Josh?
I can't say I have. No.
Are you serious?
Have you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where at?
I ain't gonna lie.
In LA? Anywhere in LA?
Nah, not in LA. Nah. But I had a $10 burger that y'all sent me to. And that was a good burger.
Del Campo, it was.
Yes, that was a real good burger.
That's a good place, yeah.
So, so I love it. I mean, you all are living the principles that we teach. Y'all are just living them to the straight up 110% extreme.
I want to say I'm not against the $500 meal either. I just want to throw that out there. Though. I haven't, but I'm just saying, like if the right opportunity presented itself, like there are some restaurants that are art projects in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So the only reason I'm saying this, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I just don't want to sound like we're mightier than thou.
No.
Because that's not what we're. Yeah.
But I love asking these questions because I think people need to see there are people out there doing it.
Right.
You know, and there's different kind. I have had the $500 meal, but maybe that's like once.
Sure.
Every other year.
It was an experience.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was an experience. Yeah. And I didn't experience that until I came here and started rocking with Dave. Let's be real. And so the only time I've had a $500 meal is when I'm with my mentor and he's paying the bill. Let's be real. You know?
We need to hang out with Dave. We need to hang out with Dave more.
For sure. Dave, whenever you want to do it again, let me know. He's a multi-millionaire. It ain't us at the table. So, because if I spent $500 on a meal, I'm like, oh, there go $100. Right. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I think it's so good for people to see that living below your means, it is definitely possible. I live below my means. And what I hear from you all is we buy things that we value.
Yeah.
We are very generous with the resources that we have and with the influence that we have. Yeah. And we are investing into our future to make sure that our families down the road are not struggling. which I think is very, very commendable, whether you're minimalist or not.
Yeah.
That's the lifestyle we all should be living.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of it just comes down to compassion, man. Just trying to live that compassion life, you know? That's again, going back to our book, Love People, Use Things. I think that if we could all focus a little bit more on compassion, it'd be a much, much different place for sure, man.
In the books, y'all said something that was so cool to me, which I've never heard this statement before, drunk shopping. And I was like, drunk shopping? And I literally wrote it down on my notes. I was like, yo, that was brilliant how y'all phrased that. But you talk about not buying the expensive stuff and going into debt to keep up with what Rachel would call the Joneses. But to be real, other people. And I love how y'all said, you said drunk shopping. We might not be drunk on alcohol when we shop, but we're under the influence of instant gratification.
Yes.
And I'm like, let's spend some time and break that down, because I was about to say Instagram gratification.
That's
because
it.
This generation that follows me is very much influenced by what's on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's on social media. Oh, they got it. Oh, they went there. Oh, they just bought this. I mean, I remember, I won't say the person's name because this particular individual follows me, but when I purchased this, my new car, this particular individual DM'd me, and this particular individual said, yo, how do I do that? I want to get that. And so I asked this particular individual, do you have a job? You know, are you working? Are you saving? How much is in your savings account? Nah, bro. If I could just get this car, man, the lady's gonna love me. And I'm like, see, you're going off of what you see on Instagram, but you don't know what I had to put in to even get to this particular situation.
And the wrong ladies are gonna love them too, man.
Bruh, say that again.
Man,
if you're listening, the wrong ones, trust me.
That's right.
I've had the wrong ones in... I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah. If you're getting a car to get ladies, you are going after the wrong ladies.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. So how do we stop this drunk shopping?
Well, so let's talk about where it comes from. So they did a survey. It said 44% of people have done drunk shopping within the last year. Wow. So you know, if you imagine you get inebriated and all of a sudden you're on Amazon or you happen to be at the store, you're buying something under the influence of alcohol, right?
Yes.
But now we're all under the influence of everyone else's decisions. We're under the influence of advertisements.
Yeah.
We're under the influence of, I will be a better, more complete person if I buy the car or the house or the couch or whatever the thing is on Instagram.
Under the influence of influencers.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And so the problem that we're running into is we're trying to be unique just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be unique. If you like everyone else, you're not unique anyway, right? You're just being someone else.
Yeah.
You're playing a character, and our identities are sort of shaped by the costumes we wear.
Yes.
And those costumes are like literally the clothes we wear, or the cars that we drive, or the place that we go to work. And all of a sudden, I don't know who I am because I'm so focused on what I do or what I own. Or the things I bring into my life. And all of a sudden, now I'm forsaking the people closest to me, my daughter, my wife, my closest friends, because I don't have time for them because I'm so focused on maintaining a lifestyle that isn't bringing me joy.
So good.
It's bringing me discontent, depression, misery, stress, anxiety. And by letting go of some of the stuff, by the way, letting go is not something you do. It's something you stop doing.
I love it.
You stop clinging to all of the excess stuff. That's how we let go.
Man, listen. Boy, y'all speaking some knowledge today. I really do appreciate what you all bring to America. I teach money. I live our principles, but you all have made me even go a little bit deeper. You know, I was living in a very big home out in Columbia, Tennessee, had a lot of land. And really after rocking with you all and some of our conversations, I sold it and moved into a townhome.
I'm sorry, or you're welcome. I don't know.
It was a little bit of both, you know, because I built that home from ground up.
Wow.
Had it customized to me, and y'all talking about, man, you know, like, dude, I mean, how many, in y'all's last book, I remember last time we was talking, man, how many rooms do you really need? And I'm like, it's just me, and I got a 3,000 square foot home with 4.5 bedrooms in there.
Wow.
And I'm like,
it's really lonely.
Gets really lonely. It was real big. Had all the speakers throughout the ceilings and Wi-Fi units in the ceilings, and it was to clap on, clap off, talk to the house type of thing. And I'm like, do I really need this right now?
Right.
Like for just me.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I really don't.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I could be saving this money to where if I save this money and live way below my means, when I get my wife, when I get my family, when I get my kids, then I can come back up to this kind of house.
That's so
So why
important.
spend all this money right now when it's just me?
Yeah.
So
And you can pay cash for it too then.
exactly,
Yeah.
you know. So that's my goal. I said, all right, let me just move into a townhome, and it's been a little interesting because I have a dog, so I don't have a backyard.
Yeah.
You know, and it gets kind of frustrating sometimes. But the amount of money that I'm saving, the amount of money I made on the house when I sold it, you know, it just feels so good that I know that I'm saving for something that's going to bring me true value down the road.
Yeah.
And I want to appreciate y'all for doing that. You guys know my last book was Debt-Free Degree. And you all actually quoted me in your new book, Love People Use Things. And I want to thank y'all so much for the shout out and the love.
Thanks for writing that book, man.
Man, because
Important book.
I was reading this book and I was like, man, I got a shout out, dog.
I get, but my brother, he called me, I don't know, a year or so. He's like, I think I'm going to school and, you know, talking about taking out loans. And I'm like, dude, I sent him your book. I was like, you need to read this. I was like, there are plenty of people out there who go to school and don't spend any money at all. It's such an important message that you're doing as well. I want to step back to what you were talking about, reassessing.
Okay.
I love this, man, because this is so important for people to understand. Maybe they're in a situation right now where they have a lot of stuff. They feel like it's too much. They're overwhelmed. So then they downsize. There might be a time in their life where they bring some more stuff back in. They buy a bigger house. That's okay. I mean, minimalism is not this end goal.
Yeah.
It's not like here's a list of 100 things.
And you stick with that.
Right, exactly. It's really about assessing what you're doing with your resources, what you're bringing into your life. And that changes, man. I mean, it's, you know, I'll be 40 this year. My 50-year-old self's going to have a lot different life, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'll have to reassess then.
Oh, man. I love it. So when it comes to debt, what do the minimalists think about? You know, what's y'all's thought on...
That one's easy. There's no such thing as good debt.
Yeah.
I couldn't even finish the question. My man said, hey, well, that's easy. Let's go to the next question. There's no such thing as good debt, which I agree with you all. I believe debt is debt. But break it down from y'all's perspective. Student loans. We hear that student loans, that's good debt.
Oh, terrible. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's not morally bad to have it.
I agree.
Yeah, but it's not a good thing to have it either.
I agree.
And what you've done with Debt-Free Degree and with the show is you show people there is a roadmap that you can get through.
Yeah.
Now, also, we too often confuse what? Schooling with education.
Absolutely.
And realizing that I can get an education without having to go through a traditional schooling system.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the other ways as well. Now, credit card debt, awful. Like, I don't want any credit card debt, right?
Yeah. Corner store, payday loans.
Corner store. Hey, listen.
But those are all the whats. Let's talk about why debt is so frustrating, because it takes away our freedom.
Yeah, but Joshua, what you're telling me is, well, I can't get the credit card reward points because, you know, I don't have a credit score and you know, shouldn't I be using other people's money instead of using my own money? You know, Josh, what are you telling me, man? You know,
Right.
I can't use, I want to get the free airline miles so I can go to Africa for free.
Right. So remember we talked about the actual cost of the thing? It's fine. You know, if you're someone who's responsible, does all of those things, so be it. Like, no one's saying you're not allowed to have a credit card. It's illegal.
Gotcha.
But I don't want to have any credit card debt.
Come on,
man. I don't. I mean, personally, I own a house. I don't have a mortgage.
Ooh.
And the reason being is I personally don't want to be tethered. Now, some people might be more comfortable. Even a mortgage debt, while it's better than a payday lender,
it's still debt.
Even then, you still want to get rid of it.
Absolutely.
Ideally, you don't want to carry that debt in perpetuity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, Ryan and I, you know, we very much believe what y'all believe with respect to debt.
Yeah.
Like, there's no such thing as good debt. Of course, the things that we need, if we can sometimes wait for them,
Absolutely.
we realize that maybe we don't even need them in the first place.
Yeah, man. I'm with you on that part. Have y'all ever had to take out any, like, for an example, student loans?
Oh yeah, I had a bunch of student loans. Man, I'm telling you, like, I got into minimalism because I was so overwhelmed with debt. And just going back to what I said, like, every time I got a promotion, man, it wasn't like, oh, look, I can pay off debt. It was, oh, now I can afford a new monthly payment. Now I can afford a higher monthly payment for a house. So I went and bought a house, and I got another promotion. Oh, I can afford a higher monthly payment for a new car, and then I'm buying a new car every 2 years. So yeah, I mean, when I left the corporate world, I was lucky enough where a lot of my tuition was covered by the corporation I worked for. But man, you get those like FAFSA loans, they just send you a check.
Yeah.
So just like, here's a $7,000 check.
Spend it however you want.
Yeah, spend it however you want. I'm like, I didn't even ask for this. But I'm like,
free money.
Well, since I have it, and it's subsidized interest rates, and like you find ways to talk yourself into it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a ton. I was lucky enough. I had like less than $30,000 in student loans.
Okay.
But it took me 3-4 years like to really get that paid off.
Was it hard?
It was really difficult, man, but totally worth the work. I wish I would have known about Dave Ramsey before I started going down my debt-free life, because I did it backward. I did the snowball in reverse, where I started like the
avalanche.
Yeah, it did avalanche, right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this, Anthony. I have no debt now, no car payment, no mortgage, anything like that. But at one point, before the whole minimalism thing, when I was supposedly successful, I was really a failure, but I had almost $500,000 worth of debt.
$500,000?
Yeah, and so...
And you're debt-free now?
Completely debt-free, 100% debt-free. Yeah, and I will tell you that thankfully the whole Dave Ramsey thing and Total Money Makeover was a huge thing for that. But understanding that I'm never going to get back into debt either.
So good.
I could understand making an exception for a mortgage at some point if it made sense, but even then, you work to pay it off as quickly as possible.
I have a mortgage, and I'm busting my butt off. I am working my butt off to pay off this mortgage, because I don't want to be a slave to the lender. Because isn't it funny that we work Monday through Friday, we put in labor, and Wells Fargo, Bank of America, you name it, these banks get the fruit of our labor. And then we come back home to our families broke, living paycheck to paycheck, living above our means, because we're trying to impress those on Instagram. We're giving Wells Fargo, which is the family's last name, but we're not coming back to our family and building our legacy because we're working so hard to give someone else a fruit of our labor. And I'm like, yo, I refuse to do that. So I'm busting my butt hard now so I can pay off my mortgage, because that's going to another family. Let's be real. And I want to keep my resources. I want to keep the majority of my fruit. Somebody's going to get the fruit. IRS, they're going to get some of my fruit.
Sure.
You know? Yeah. My electricity company, they're going to get some of my fruit. But Anthony O'Neill's family should have the majority of the fruit. Did you know that there are nearly 45 million American people that total up to have $1.6 trillion in student loan debt? Did you know that one of the main reasons preventing people from building true and lasting wealth are student loans? The average person will graduate with $35,000 in student loans, but a fifth of these people will graduate with a mortgage payment but don't even have real estate. That's right. They graduate with $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in student loan debt. And when I wrote the book, Debt-Free Degree, and I was out there on book tour, and people were asking me, hey, I'm getting this book for my child, but what do you have for me? I have student loans, and I need to pay them off, but I need direction. So I wrote a book called Destroy Your Student Loan Debt, the step-by-step plan on how to pay off your student loans. I want you to get the book. It's only 55 pages long, and I literally walk you through step by step. How do you refi your student loans? How do you pay them off quicker? How do you negotiate some payments lower? I walk you through every single thing. It's a quick read. And if you buy it, it's only $10. $10 can save you 10 years. Get the book right now. Go to AnthonyO'Neill.com, AnthonyO'Neill.com, and change the next 10 years of your life. It's your boy, Anthony O'Neill, and I approve this message. Boom, we're back in the building with my boys. Man, listen, I wish we had an hour show.
Yeah.
I mean, this is great. You know, y'all have been awesome, on the Ramsey Network circuit, but there's nothing like the table. I just want y'all to know. You know, this is the original show in the building. Dave Ramsey Show, the Ramsey Show ain't got nothing on the table. Okay, love you, Dave.
It's a really nice table, by the way.
Thank you, man. I had it.
Man.
Would you finance us?
You see, the reason why it doesn't look as good is because I didn't finance it. No, I'm just playing. But before we go, I want to ask y'all this one question. I think it's a real good question for you all. What is the hardest thing about being a part of the minimalism world? Y'all really step back and think about it. What is the hardest thing at being a minimalist?
When you first start looking at simplifying your life, you realize that my identity is so tied up in my things and I've become the person who does this. I own this. I am my car. I am my job. I am my city, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, when we start stripping away the excess stuff, we start to figure out who we really are.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the things we own.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, when you call yourselves the minimalists, your like true friends really start to show their true colors. I mean, man, when we were in the corporate world, it was raise time and my boss is like, hey, I saw your website, the minimal. You don't need this raise, right? Because now you're so like, you get little snarky jokes. But I mean, it's not that difficult, really. In hindsight, it was really a blessing to kind of see who my true friends were because my true friends really supported me.
Yeah.
They didn't come after me or whatever. So it's a little bit maybe of an adjustment at first with family, with friends, because they're going to look at you living a different life. And when you live a different life, well, that makes people look in the mirror and they ask themselves like, oh, should I be living a different life?
Wow.
And then when they ask themselves that question, they start to project whatever those answers are. But man, all we want, man, is we want to have relationships with people that are genuine, with people that are consistent, with people that are respectful. And if you are consistent and your family sees you living and your friends see you living consistently, then man, like they're going to support you in the end. But there might be a little bit of a rocky start, just like with anything you start new. But yeah, it's not even that. I wouldn't even. I don't want to discourage anyone because it's not that difficult, but it was something that definitely stood out to me for sure.
I'm not a minimalist, but I do have a minimalist approach at things. And one of the hardest things that I've learned for me, because I live a debt-free life and live a below my means life, is as a single person dating. You know how many ladies, well, I can't date you because I have debt, have student loan debt. I'm like, well, dang. You just excluded me without even asking me? And it's like, because I have this platform and I'm teaching people to live below their means, stay away from debt, don't have the credit cards, live this kind of lifestyle, the hardest thing for me is people still looking at me as a human being. Listen, I'm Anthony O'Neill. And no, you don't have to be 100% debt-free to rock with me and to be in a relationship with me. But I do want you to have the mindset, the desire to want to have that life, because I believe, and I want to go into the financial tip of the week from here. And I want y'all to be a part of this. Something that I'm starting new on my show is every week giving them a financial tip, financial education. I thought this would be fitting for you all because you all can add to this. One of the top questions I get asked is, what is debt?
Okay.
And so the financial tip of the week today is, what is debt? And you broke this down earlier, Joshua. There's no such thing as good debt. When you break down a practical, what is debt? For example, student loans, that's debt. Credit cards, that is debt. Car payments, that's debt. The money you borrow from your mama, from your boyfriend, from your girlfriend, that is debt. In a simple term, debt is owing anything to anyone for any reason, even if it's $1.
And even it doesn't have to be money either.
That's it. Ooh, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Well, if you're obligated to do something to someone, now you have time debt.
Ooh.
Anything that takes away your freedom is a type of debt.
Oh, that is so good. I like that one. Anything that takes away your freedom, your options is debt. Now, I know y'all probably thinking, well, Anthony, why is debt bad? Here's the simple reason. I believe debt steals from our future. If all of your money, if all of your time is going towards paying back debt, you can't really build wealth. And to me, wealth is not just about money.
Right.
Wealth is about, what are my options? How much peace, joy do I have? What am I able to pass down to my kids? And so I firmly do believe that if you want your bank account to change, then we all have to change in our mindsets.
Amen.
And I believe the minimalist lifestyle, the minimalist mindset is definitely a great option to consider. Because even as I talk to y'all more and more and follow y'all story, I'm like, yo, I can do that. I can do that. I think the only thing that's hard for me is I really like nice things.
Well, I think so do minimalists, and we actually like our things more.
Oh,
and because we don't have to take care of all the things that we don't like.
Yeah.
We were doing a live stream one time and someone commented, they're like, you guys, it doesn't sound like you gave up anything important. And we're like, that's right. We didn't give up anything that's important. Everything we have in our life is important. That's the key.
So you got rid of junk.
Yeah,
you got rid of debt. You got rid of things that's preventing you from moving forward.
Right.
And really enjoying the peace of your life.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes I'll get rid of something as a test to see whether or not it truly adds value. So sometimes there's something that adds sort of imaginary value.
Yeah.
And I realize if I get rid of it for 30 days, 90 days, whatever, I may or may not bring it back in because I realize if I missed it and you know what? My life was better with this thing. I can always bring it back in. But you never know if you don't decide to at least let it go for a temporary period of time.
Yo, and to be real, I'll be real. When I first joined the team with Dave, the world taught me you need to have a secure credit card. And, secure credit card was with my money. I was like, I got to have it because I got to have a credit score. And I will never forget before I joined the team, I cut up the credit card. And about a year later, I realized I don't miss having a credit card.
Right.
I don't miss having a credit score. Like, I don't miss the debt. Like, I'm kind of upset because I was missing the freedom.
Right.
And I'm like, I like that. So I want to encourage you all as we end this show, try that. Pick 2 or 3 things in your life and get rid of it for 30 days, 60 days.
Yeah.
If you got a credit card, because some of y'all listening to me right now, some of y'all watching this show right now, you have a credit card. And you're saying, I don't keep a balance on there. No, just cut it up for 90 days. Cut it up for 90 days and try the debt-free minimalism lifestyle, okay? Stop spending money you don't have to impress people you don't even like. Living below your means doesn't make you broke. In my opinion, it makes you wise. So I want you to take a baby step into this thing. If you don't want to just dive into it, okay, cool, great, I can respect it. Try it for 90 days. And I guarantee you, if you rock with us, because I'm going to put all their information and this amazing link to their book that is on pre-sale right now that's coming out here in a couple of weeks, July 13th, called Love People, Use Things Because the Opposite Never Works. If you read this book, follow them. If you rock with me, I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of things you won't go back to because you start experiencing that freedom and that joy and that peace. And I promise you, man, I'm getting excited for you. I'm getting excited for you. Listen, I'm getting so excited for you. So, brothers, where can they find out more information about you all? How can they get access to your book? What are y'all working on so they can really consume all the great information you all have?
Well, we'll keep it real simple. They can just go to theminimalists.com.
Love it.
And they can find everything there. Documentaries, books, podcast, YouTube channel. It's all there at theminimalists.com.
Theminimalists.com. We'll drop that in the show descriptions. And also, I'm going to make sure that we add our Ramsey Plus link below as well and access to destroy your student loan debt if you really want to start taking advantage of this opportunity. Get their book, you guys. I'm telling you right now, you're listening to me on podcasts. I have it in my hand. But for YouTube, this book will bless you. I've read it, and I'm telling you, it will bless you. Yo, this is what we do every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And thank you, Joshua, Ryan, for coming through. Y'all got to come back again.
Yeah, man.
Because I've been on y'all show a few times.
Yeah.
I need y'all on my show now a few times.
Let's do it.
All right.
The next show, it should be with me and out in California surfing because, it's going to be a little interesting.
Come on out, man.
That's going to be interesting
We'll
video.
bring the cameras.
Bring the cameras because a black man on the surfboard. It's going to be interesting.
Hey, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't go surfing. I go practice surfing.
Okay, there we go. I feel better. Yo, we'll see y'all next week. Peace out.